Exercise 102 is talking about misleading graphs. Now, the way that graphs are most commonly used to mislead us is by what is actually written on the axes, or the scales used on the axes. And if you look at them, they're being used in such a way that is quite incorrect if you think about the way you should construct a graph. So things like our scale here on the vertical axis is starting at 10. Now, for most of us, we wouldn't start and shouldn't start our vertical axis at anything other than 0. So here we've got an example of not showing the correct position of 0. Another way, and another thing that we avoid when we're actually constructing a graph, is we must use our ruler to mark off our increments and make each increment worth exactly the same. So you can see here, from there to there, our assumption is this is 0, which is fine. We don't have to put a 0 there. But it's saying that this space is 16. It's then saying the similar space is now only worth 4. From 16 to 20 is 4, whereas from 0 to 16 is 16. This is extremely incorrect. When we're constructing a graph, we know that that is not allowed. If a graph is constructed, and sometimes it will be constructed that way to give us a false impression of what's going on. So in the first week, it's looking like there were 16 computers sold. That may actually not be correct, because we don't know where the 0 is, or if this is 0. Then we trying to look and interpret a graph that's actually been constructed incorrectly. This one over here is doing a similar thing in that there is an uneven scale, or only showing part of the scale. Not that any of these examples do this, but some don't have a scale at all. And again, that's very misleading. You can probably fill these out. I've sort of done it for you, graph A, graph B, and graph C, and then you can get started with make some points so that your summary is easier to put together, and then go back and do exercise 102.